What's happening, everybody? My name is Charles Blades, and this is the Current Gaming Podcast. I am joined today by David Morgan. How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good, man. How's that chicken dinner tasting?
Oh, it's so good. I came to you first because before we even introduce the other two people in this podcast, we're going to talk about this, David. So what happened last night? Take me through it. So we played two games before it. And those games did not go well.
I killed us once in a motorcycle. And then in the second game, we got killed at like 60 people or something.
It was like not good. But then we set out on what would later be known as the game that changed history.
That's right. I was a little drunk. I had like a couple of beers, and I was just feeling really confident. I wasn't thinking too hard, and that's kind of what I think did it. Because when I saw somebody, I didn't panic. I just kind of aimed calmly at their face and killed them. I killed like 4 or 5 people that game.
So we were playing PUBG last night, and where did we drop? I'm trying to think. We dropped at Gatka, right?
Yeah, and there was like nothing there. We didn't even get a rifle.
Nothing in Gatka. Then we kept driving, found some stuff in some houses, and then we found a 4x scope. That was the key.
Yeah, I got an AKM and a 4x scope.
So we were feeling pretty good about that. And then we posted up in a wizard tower, where then was it a wizard tower? The first thing we posted?
It was.
No, I thought before that we didn't have a wizard tower. We had a regular house, and like I put the Jeep to try to.
We were trying to bait people with the Jeep, and that didn't work out.
It didn't work. And then the circle moved, so then we had to move, and we found this wizard tower, and there was 2 of us, and we kind of split up, and you start taking fire. So I booked it to the wizard tower. I'm hiding up in the wizard tower. You knock one of the guys out.
Yeah, because he started coming like at me, and then his teammate was coming at you, and they were split like at a 90-degree angle. So I was up the hill from you. I took out his teammate, and I alerted you, and then you went down and killed the other guy.
And I went down. The other guy was trained on you, and he was just sitting there perfect for me. I took him right out. We took their stuff, got in the wizard tower. We hung out in the wizard tower for a good while.
I'm surprised we didn't get shot at in the wizard tower.
Having some little snipe battles with some people across the street, you know what I'm saying? But then we battened down the hatches with like 15 people to go. We had to start moving. We walked down the road, and it just so happened that I guess our side there wasn't that many people on, except when we were running down the road, I was like, David, to your left, there's 2 of them.
Yeah, there was a team.
Fucking MLG Morgan over here fucking just turns around and snipes both of them like fucking bang bang. And I was like, oh, somebody's going to know we're here now that we were shooting at those people. But no one did. We just hung out in some shadows, and there was about 6 people left. And then I started making call-outs. I'm like, I think there's a guy in that bush over there. Maybe is there a guy in that tree? You know what I'm saying?
Just complete guesstimates, right? You didn't know.
And I had no clue. And then I was like, I think there might be some guys in those crates. And fucking not as soon as I said it, but like 2 seconds later.
Maybe like 30 seconds, yeah.
Two guys pop out of the crates, and they're the last 2 standing. You knock one down, or they start shooting at me. I'm behind a rock.
Yeah, I thought we were fucked because the blue was coming in on our back.
Yeah, they were in the circle, but the circle was in a field, and we kind of just held position, and they went for the circle first, and so
Worth mentioning at this point, there were 5 people left. So besides those 2 guys we saw in the crates, there were 3 other people over there, and I guess they fought.
Well, there was one other people left. There was one other person left because there was 2 of us.
And they killed him, and then they started coming for us. A guy started coming at you, and you went, "I'm dead, I'm fucking dead," because
the circle was pushing in. And I was like, I gotta move, but I was like, if I just wait here for a little bit, I'll let it chunk me a little bit. And then so you took him out, and then another guy starts running straight from you. I pop out behind the rock, shoot him. Chicken dinner. It was
fucking beautiful. My brain couldn't comprehend the screen popping up. I was like, wait, what happened? And then we had won. I didn't even realize that there was only 2 people left besides us.
Oh, I was so excited.
It was fucking great.
Yeah, it was one of the better feelings I've had this year in games.
Yep. Agreed. It was very
other chicken dinnerless people on the podcast are Cheyenne Clark. How's it going? And Aaron Weeks, how's it going?
Good.
How you feeling?
I yelled so loud when we won that our cat actually hurt Cheyenne's leg.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Speaking of cat, didn't he like fucking destroy your leg recently?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was walking to the bathroom and he started running at me at a 90-degree angle, like to my side, and then like
you didn't have anybody looking out for people flanking you, right?
No, that's right. He clawed the back of my knee, and he just so happened to like wrap around it as he was like flying past me and sliced the entire backside of my leg open, and just it bled like a waterfall. It was.
So is it kind of like when like there's like the scenes from like when a girl's like in New York City and she kind of like throws her hat in the air and then spins around like a telephone pole, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was like that. Looks like somebody was trying to cut my fucking leg off.
Okay.
Basically.
Yeah. So we got a cool show for you this week. We're gonna be talking about Half-Life 2, Crackdown 3, some Overwatch stuff. But first, we're gonna be talking about the SNES Classic. But first, is that what you said?
No, you said Half-Life 2, or is it Half-Life 3 we're talking about?
Well, Half-Life 2
episode 3.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Whatever the fuck. Game that's never coming out.
Yeah.
It's not wrong.
But we're gonna be talking about the SNES Classic and the fact that Nintendo just doesn't care if they sell any of them because, like,
No.
I mean, they care
Well,
they sell
care
them.
if they sell.
They don't care about the people trying.
They don't
to
care
buy
who
them.
gets them, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the pre-orders for a bunch of SNES Classics went live like randomly on like a Tuesday night at like
fucking 4 in the morning.
Yeah, for like a bunch of different sites, and like were open for like they sold out in like minutes. So like basically, if you weren't just randomly awake, you didn't get one. And yeah, it has a lot of people criticizing Nintendo. Like I understand, like they only had a limited amount, but like you could have at least told people when pre-orders were going live. Like situation, like it's really shitty. I don't know, Aaron, how do you feel?
Mm-hmm.
It's really annoying for sure. Like I actually the next day while I was at work, they went back up at a couple different sites. Like I think it was like Target went up first or something like that, and then Best Buy had some. And I was like sitting there refreshing it at work trying to get one. Was like I felt like I was pretty fucking quick with it and still couldn't get one. But luckily, actually, the other day when I got home, they went up again at Walmart. I think it was either yesterday or the day before, and I managed to get one from Walmart.
Oh,
So
nice.
Walmart was the last one to go up.
So I did manage to get one, but it was such a pain in the ass. Like, and I'm sure there are a fucking shitload of people that didn't get one.
Yeah.
Are you gonna flip it? Or are you gonna play it?
No, I'm for sure gonna keep it. Yeah.
Nice. Did you get an NES Classic?
No.
Okay.
Did you want an NES Classic and you couldn't get one, or like you care more about the SNES game?
I care a lot more about the SNES, but I would like to have an NES Mini. But like it was the same kind of thing. Like I looked for them, but I didn't. You know what I mean? I wasn't as invested in it.
Yeah.
This one, I was like fucking refreshing like every website I could find, trying to get one, and still barely managed to get one at the last minute.
Yeah.
I never even owned an SNES. I would have liked to get one, but I.
See, that's like I grew up on the SNES. That's like what got me into video games. So
Okay.
it's like
Well, that makes sense.
a
then.
way bigger deal for me.
Yeah, Cheyenne, did you care about this at all? I don't think you were trying to buy one, but like.
Yeah, I mean, I figured, if David was interested and he bought one, like, but I honestly didn't think that he'd be able to because I kind of knew that this was gonna happen.
Didn't even try.
I didn't know that it was just gonna come up out of nowhere, but I assumed
Right.
that people weren't gonna be able to get it. Like,
Have you
yeah,
guys
so
ever
it's super
had
fun.
any horror stories of trying to like pre-order something or like buy tickets or anything like that?
I mean,
This is probably the closest thing.
Yeah, actually, I've got a good one.
Oh yeah.
This one time in my freshman year of college, this isn't games related, but like the pressure was real. Like it's probably what people felt like when they were trying to buy the SNES. I basically got a message from my friend that was like, "Hey, Nutrimilk tells Jeff Mangum's going to be playing at this opera house in like 2 months, and you can buy tickets." But I had it in my head that
Was
the tickets
I
went
your
up
friend?
like. No, it was my friend from college. Or
I
the
went
friend
to
from
the
here.
show
You went
with
to
you.
that show, but my friend let me know about it.
Okay.
I was getting us 3 tickets basically
bad,
for me,
yeah,
you, and our other friend Jake. And I thought it was coming in next week, but it had just gone up like that moment. So I had to like run in like 20-degree weather from my house, my like dorm, to the place where they were selling them, which was like a 40-minute walk, but I ran it. My lungs were on fire, and by the time I got there, I think I got 3 of the last 10 tickets in the line that I was in. It was fucking terrible, and I wish that upon no one. So I can't imagine what trying to be up at 2 a.m. trying to pre-order this fucking system is like, when one, your internet might not be cooperating, people are refreshing the page faster than you. You just can't know. There's no like line that you're standing in. It's all just
and
arbitrary.
people using like bots to like.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, scalpers trying to like get every one that they can.
Yeah, that's the thing that happens a lot. Like I'm not into like shoes or anything like that. But I know that's like a big thing.
Is that a thing with shoes?
When like new shoes drop, it's like fucking crazy. where,
Jesus,
like,
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Well, those are always limited, right? They always.
yeah, those
drop.
are like a super limited product, and apparently for no fucking reason this is. And like I'm like at this point I'm like it's okay to emulate SNES games. Like go fuck you, Nintendo. Until there's a virtual console on your system, like go fuck off. Like
I
that's
seriously think they're
fucking
holding
trash.
the virtual console out so that they can sell more of these.
I would honestly like. I would rather have than this. I'd rather be able to buy like a $50 game that's just like all of these games, like a cart. Like I would rather have that.
Hmm.
That would be my. I would rather.
And
buy
if it's
that.
digital, they can't sell out. So
yeah, like fuck
you could
off.
fit
Like,
all
that
these games
shit's
on like
terrible.
a 3 meg. Like,
It would not be a big
download.
deal at all. Like at all. It's like there's no fucking excuse. And like yeah, fuck Nintendo.
The worst part about this whole thing is like places like GameStop bundling it with like shit that they can't
Fuck
sell.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah, like GameStop has like bundles for like $50 to $100 more with like
You gotta buy a
bullshit
Mario
like
t-shirt.
Zelda
Dude,
Light.
some were like $200+ for like
I
a
was
fucking
like,
backpack.
fuck you. I don't
Mhm.
fucking want this shit. You're just using
Yeah.
this as an opportunity to like shovel your crap out the door. It's so dumb.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
just really good. I remember they did that a lot when the GameCube, and Nintendo's behavior with the stuff and not making enough, like, led into that predatory behavior even more, because like when I remember the GameCube adapter came out for Wii U, like right when Smash Brothers came out, and like GameStop and other retailers had a deal that was like, buy the GameCube adapter and 4 GameCube controllers.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
and like it's like fuck off, dude. Like that shit's gross.
It is.
Anyway, this next story, bummer for Aaron, maybe, I don't know. Mass Effect Andromeda is confirmed not getting any more single player updates or content is planned for it. All it's going to be having is like the multiplayer horde stuff. I know you haven't finished the game at all, but does this surprise you at all, or what do you think this means for the series going forward? Or
It doesn't surprise me, but it is sad. Like, even though I wasn't super into Andromeda, like I think I judged it a little bit too harshly at first, just because like I was a huge fan of the original trilogy, and like the gameplay in Andromeda is great. But the fucking, I personally think the story is fucking garbage. They literally just like wiped their ass with the lore that they had in the first 3, which is like super disappointing. It's still a good game though. And especially depressing that they're just giving up on it. I mean, I understand why with like what happened surrounding Andromeda, I guess, but to think about the fact that they're not going to add any DLC, there's not going to be any Mass Effect for probably a pretty long time at this point. It's depressing to think about. Like, and some of the DLCs in the original trilogy were some of the best parts of the game. So I feel like they really could have done something with DLC in Andromeda, like the Quarian arc, I think, is the biggest one. Because like, why the fuck was that not in the base game? First off,
yeah.
Like, why were the Quarians not even in the fucking game at all? Really? Like, maybe I just haven't come across them yet, but I haven't seen a single one.
No, I don't think they are. Like, at least their whole arc isn't. Like, there might be 1 or 2, but like,
that's like a tangent, but that's like my fucking biggest problem with that game is like there were so many cool parts about the trilogy that they just took out for who knows what the fuck reason.
And the stuff they added was pretty bad, right? Like,
yeah,
from like
boring, and like it was just like a fucking washed up shitty version of the things that they could have added from the first one.
Bummer.
So do you see, number one, do you see Mass Effect coming back in the next, let's say, 5 years? Is there going to be another Mass Effect game?
I sincerely hope so. Like, I hope maybe they take some time and just think about what they want Mass Effect to be and where they want to take the series. And I sincerely hope that they go back to just the Milky Way galaxy, because there was so much unexplored potential in that galaxy that like it makes zero sense to me that they went to Andromeda and tried to create all this new shit that fell so flat. Like, why not take the time to explore and experience the universe that you've already spent so much time and money to create, instead of, like I said before, like just wiping your ass with that and moving on to something that's like nowhere near as good.
Yeah. I feel like this, in conjunction with, if Anthem comes out next year and is pretty successful, like, Mass Effect could be dead a while. I kind of feel
Yeah, I agree.
like
I hope it's not, but
Anthem is popping, and like the next Dragon Age game is like does similar stuff to what Inquisition did, because I know a lot of people, even though that game kind of has a bad rap now, at least at launch the game sold well and people were liking it. If like, I could definitely see Mass Effect hitting the back burner for like a while if those two, and Anthem kind of taking a new spot there.
Yeah, even if it's nothing to do with Shepard, I really hope that if they do bring Mass Effect back, that they go back to the Milky Way galaxy.
Yeah. This next story we have here is just, I'm gonna let Cheyenne handle it basically. It's all the new Overwatch changes. There's a new map, Junkentown. What the fuck's it called? I could look it up. Junkertown. There's new changes being made to D.Va that give her that limit her defense matrix, but make her more of an attack-centric tank. And then the biggest thing, of course, is the new changes being made to Mercy, getting rid of her res alt and making her alt like the superpowered kind of like, she can do like all her shit recharges faster and she does more damage and stuff like that, and then putting the res on the 30-second cooldown on like the second ability thing. How do you feel about all this stuff? What is, because these are your two main characters.
Yeah, they are. It's kind of weird. Like, they've mostly been the same. Like, D.Va's gotten a few changes. Like, she didn't have her defense matrix before, but it's kind of weird. Like, these are my two like go-to characters, so everything like how I play them is going to be completely different, I think. Diva maybe not so much because now she still has the defense matrix. They just want you to rely on it a lot less, which I understand because you can kind of like eat up everyone's ult, which feels really great. You can still like if they're projectiles like Zarya's or May's.
Yeah, so you can't do it like for a whole Reaper ult, like basically.
Yeah, you can't do it like you could do it for most of a Pharah ult or a Soldier ult, and then you could get in like McCree's face like while he was doing his through most of his ult, but now it's kind of like they want you to be in there doing more damage with the missiles that they gave her. So I'm really interested to see how that feels. I think it'll be mostly the same, but with Mercy, they're kind of completely changing how she plays. So instead of Resurrect being her big thing, like it's now an ability where you can only res one person at a time every 30 seconds. And then I have seen people using her new ultimate, which is called Valkyrie. It lasts 20 seconds, and it buffs her weapon. She can shoot way faster. So
20 seconds is a long ass fucking time.
It's a very long time. I feel like
I'm trying. Who else's ults do like similar stuff? Like Genji's kind of does.
Yeah.
The way it is now on the PTR, she's like hands down has the best ult in the game.
Yeah. Like, what is it? One of the other, like, Ana's nano boost only lasts for something like 8 seconds.
Yeah, like it's literally it does like it does essentially what Ana's nano boost would do for a character.
Yeah, I actually saw someone like nano boost emerge, and she was absolutely wrecking shit.
Yeah.
Like using her gun, doing more damage, shooting faster, and at the same time she can fly now, like not just like fly between teammates, like she can literally
like
just
hover
fly.
And
And so she kind of you can go to your teammates, and now with Valkyrie, it's kind of like a chain thing where you lock onto one target and you heal them, but you also like heal the people around them. So it seems very, very useful. I feel like they'll probably make a few changes before they officially release it.
Yeah, I feel like right now it's a little like overpowered.
It's pretty OP.
Because like so it got rid of the res basically. So like the res you could like res like 4 or 5 people at once. And this new one, like you feasibly you could res once right before you pop it. Then if you pop it, you get it right back again. That's a second res.
Yeah,
and then
true.
you could get another res like while it recharges because it recharges faster. So you can still res like 3 or 4 times like in a row.
That's true too.
Kind of in a way. It also, the thing I care more about, it completely fucks up the trophy for getting 4 reses as Mercy. And just like if you don't get that trophy before this change happens, like the platinum in Overwatch is now unobtainable. Like it's impossible to get it. Like, and that's fucking stupid. Like, suck my dick. That's shit's
I mean,
bullshit.
I hope that they would try to change that.
Like, I'm sure there's some way in the back end they can make it look like if you did something in that it like works differently. But like, fuck that shit. It's already impossible to get that platinum anyway because like there's some stupid trophies with like Lucio and like the Zenyatta one. Where you like you have to like kill like 5 people with a Discord in like 2 seconds or some shit like that. It's dumb.
I don't know. I'm really interested to see how, because this just completely changes her play style. So like both of my main characters are be a little different now.
It's a whole new game. Aaron, I know you play Mercy a little bit. Are you gonna hop back in for this at all, or?
Yeah, I'd like to for sure. It's really, I think it's exciting. It'll give me a reason to start playing her again. The thing I think is funny right now too is like with the damage buff her gun gets. It's like I read something somewhere too that it's like the way things are right now. It encourages you to use her ult off like more offensively than anything, which isn't really what they intended. So that's for sure going to change before it goes live.
Yeah, it's an interesting time in the Overwatch community. The 6th season starting up. There's changes to that too, but I'm not a fucking nerd. David, this is your story. See how I did a story for each person, like at the beginning of the show?
Oh, so nice.
David, this is your story. Half-Life 2 Episode 3 potential plot is revealed by one of the series later. All right, so we were having a group text about this yesterday.
You were being a cunt. I wanted to fucking slap you.
And I was making fun of you for calling this guy. The guy
by his name.
I said Mark Laidlaw is the writer for the Half-Life series, and then I mentioned his name one more time, and you
no, he did. He like I'm on David's side with this one.
You're fucking.
He didn't say Mark Laidlaw.
I did though.
You said Laidlaw, like that was
Okay.
like a code name,
Well, that's
and I was very confused. And I thought you were just like
he did
I thought,
open though with a description of who that guy was.
I didn't know his first name because in the
I thought-
headline that I read, it didn't.
I thought it was a
didn't show it.
situation like, do you remember when fucking a bunch of people like hacked the PSN in like 2013 or 2014? They were called Lizard
You
Squad.
mean like 2 weeks ago?
Well, yeah, like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, they did hack the Twitter like 2 weeks ago. But like they were called Lizard Squad.
Yeah.
And like I just can't fucking call anybody Lizard Squad in a serious way. And I was like, shut the fuck up, David, because I thought you.
Except for this is the man's like literal birth name.
I thought you kept writing late. You're like, yo, this guy named Lalo dropped the plot for Half-Life. He's trying to lay low about it, but fucking, but you guys can keep this. This is on the up and up for me.
So basically, you created this fucking just
I was
fictional
like-
scenario.
And I was so annoyed. I was just like, David, quit fucking playing these games with me. And so yeah, I called
First
you
of
out.
all, you thought that it meant that the game was coming out, which is the
I
opposite.
didn't think that at all. I didn't think that. At all.
You
But
thought that
whatever.
I was implying that the game was gonna come out because
I didn't
this.
say that either. I was just like, the game's still never coming out.
I think
Anyway,
CJ was just
shit.
looking for a fight last
yeah,
night.
I know,
Yeah,
definitely.
you
That's
were.
100%. And then I got it when we got that chicken dinner. You know what I'm fucking saying, David?
Redirect your
Woo!
anger into the pub guy.
But yeah, some stuff's happening in Half-Life. Half-Life is not going to come out, so I don't care. So David, tell me what's going on.
Okay.
Right?
So what happened was Mark Laidlaw, the writer for the Half-Life series, sucked my dick. He's written all of the Half-Life games, and he also wrote, I think he did some writing on Dota too, but he doesn't work for Valve anymore. Posted on his blog last week that
Wait, you did it last
it was
week?
he did it. Well, this goes up Monday, so yeah, last week.
Oh,
was
I
on
thought you were,
Friday.
okay. My bad. I thought you were saying like it happened last week.
No,
and
no.
And no one found out about it. Like,
For
no
you,
one
we
said-
time travel, so for the viewer, it's
Yeah,
last.
no, my bad. I didn't think about it. My bad. I'm sorry.
And he posted like it was kind of like a epitaph, like a letter, but all of the pronouns were changed so that it said like Epistle 3,
He's being very
And it was, like,
friendly.
Organ Greenman and shit like that. And he just like obviously it was about Half-Life. And he put like the plot synopsis for the third episode that never is going to come out. And it was well written. It was a good story. I think people would have been really satisfied with how it ended. I guess spoilers, but essentially, I mean, has anybody here even played the Half-Life games? Aaron, I think you have.
Yeah, I have.
Essentially, you remember Dr. Breen, the gray-haired guy in the tower that was like the human leader for the Combine. He
I'm sure
died.
if I saw him, I would, or if I played it, because like that was the one name in the synopsis that I didn't recognize.
He's the like Welcome to City 17 guy on the big monitor, and he's like the Combine.
okay.
Yeah. He's spoilers, he's dead. And he gets turned into a grub, one of those advisor things, like the
Mhm.
maggot-looking dudes, and he's being held in this compound, and he's kind of like leading it, but he's also like not really a part of the Combine anymore because he's pissed at them for turning him into a fucking grub. They basically took his consciousness out of their database and stored it in this advisor, and he kind of wants to get back at them. And you're trying to find the Borealis, which is the ship from Aperture Science that contains all of their technology. And Eli, Alex Vance's dad, thinks that technology should be destroyed because it's too powerful and it shouldn't be even used by humans to overthrow the Combine. But everybody else in the Resistance is kind of like, could help us a lot, so we should keep it. Essentially, what ends up happening is the Borealis is kind of ethereal. It's coming in and out of existence because the Aperture Science people tried to like teleport it to Antarctica so that the Combine wouldn't find it, but the teleporter was fucked up or something. You essentially get onto it eventually, and you have the option to launch the ship into the Combine's big base, like their headquarters, and try to destroy it. But you don't know where it is, but you have the coordinates for it from Dr. Breen's memory or something. And you're thinking maybe we shouldn't do that. We should take all this back to the Resistance and use the technology there. But Alex basically makes the decision for you. She shoots Dr. What's that girl's name? The lady who's a double agent for the Combine. She shoots her in the fucking head and kills her. And she's like, we're driving this into the Combine's base. And then the G-Man comes out right before it crashes, takes Alex Vance away, and is like, hey, you're my plaything now, basically. And Gordon Freeman is left there on the ship as it approaches the Combine base. It's a Dyson sphere. I think if you guys know what that is, it's a thing that covers the sun and takes all of the energy out of it. So you're like, we can't destroy this. It's too big. And then right before you crash into it, the Vortigaunts take you out. And that's the end of episode 3. So there's the whole fucking plot. The game's never coming out. It would have been really cool if it did.
It'll be a cool card game next year.
Yeah, the Half-Life card game.
I'm excited.
Oh, the whole audience. I was
would
bummed.
Be fucking so great.
Oh my god!
They
I
did
think
it
Valve
to-
might actually be burned
That
down.
would be the funniest shit in the world.
Yeah, but sorry for the tangent. I just thought it was a cool plot. I wish that it had become a thing. I think it's too late. They can never release the game. Obviously, why would they?
Mhm.
But yeah, it was very interesting. It was very unprecedented for a writer to just leak, essentially.
It's also worth noting too that like the story that you just basically like
Told.
summarized lines up with what was it, like the concept art that leaked a while back?
Yeah, yeah. There was some concept art of they call it the Breen grub.
Yeah.
His texture leaked, and so
There was some of like them next to that ship in Antarctica too.
the Borealis, and so like the game was at some point in development. A lot of the core team has left though. All the writers are gone. They don't really have anybody who is passionate about the series probably working there that can make it.
This guy was with that company with Valve for like 20 plus years before.
Yeah,
he
he was a
left,
veteran, and he left. Probably because they weren't utilizing him because they don't make games anymore. It's a bummer, really. It's a bummer. So, yeah, I don't know. Not really much to say. I don't think they're going to react to it. Do you guys think that anything will come of this? Do you think that any kind of response from Valve will come, or do you think that they're just going to say nothing?
I think this just guarantees that if Half-Life 3 ever does, or Episode 3 ever does come out, it's going to be a piece of shit. Because since the story has been leaked or whatever team picks it up, they're going to try and change it. You know what I mean? So not everything is like word for word just spoiled. And I feel like it's just going to come out as some fucking just horrible mess that somebody tried to clean up.
Right.
If it ever does come out.
Well, Leibol did post on his blog as well. He's like, well, there was a bunch of unused script for Alien, but there's still an Alien movie, so kind of alluding to the fact that the game could still happen for some reason. I don't know why he would fuel that fire, but
yeah, I can't imagine that it will, but if it does, I don't have high hopes for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those
DJ,
games where it could never like live up to the hype type situation where it's like all right, here it's gonna be like Blade Runner 2077. That's what it's gonna be like because that movie's probably not gonna be that good.
That movie's gonna be great. That
I
movie's
don't
gonna
have
be
high hopes.
good.
We all thought the
Gonna
Dark
be good.
Tower was gonna be good, didn't we?
Not really. I just wished it would.
No, we all thought it was. All right, this
I
next
wasn't-
story is about the tower for the Xbox One X, guys, and how it's apparently pre-selling really well. They were talking about Xbox gave a conference in Germany at Gamescom, and they launched the pre-orders worldwide, and then they gave a statement on their official website today. It says, Microsoft has done it again. The innovation power behind the new Xbox One X console is driving excitement and demand among our customers worldwide, said Bob Puzon, Senior Vice President of Merchandise. This is the guy at GameStop speaking. I'm sorry, my bad. Where's the one? Whatever, fuck it. I don't care. It doesn't matter. The Xbox One X, apparently, according to Microsoft, is the fastest selling Xbox One pre-order ever. Aaron, how do you feel about this?
Good for them.
Do you buy this? Do you see the Xbox One X taking control of the console market and crushing the PS4 in its wake? Is that what's going to happen, Aaron?
No, I think it might have a lot to do with the fact that like PS4 has already been out, or PS4 Pro has already been out for a while. People have already had time to get those, experience those, and maybe a lot of people that are buying the One X didn't get a PS4 Pro, but are just now getting a 4K TV, and they're like, well, fuck, I already have a PS4. Might as well get an Xbox One X and kill two birds with one stone. Get my 4K system and the next console, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because like, there's already a shitload of like PS4s out in the wild, but not as many Xbox Ones. So with the Xbox One X coming out, you're killing two birds with one stone. You're getting your Xbox One and you're getting the 4K console that you want.
Cheyenne, how you feel the same way?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I don't really have any interest in an Xbox. Kind of didn't want one before, and now they can get a good one.
Yeah. Is there anything they could do? So what would Xbox have to do to make you want one, Cheyenne?
Have good games that I care about that aren't already on the console that I own. So exclusives, but
Is that? Yeah, I guess that's the same thing for David. You're same way.
Yeah. I mean, I was just saying today I really wanted to play Halo, but they even managed to fuck that up. So
I don't know. It was fine. It was fine by the end of it. Like I put like, the Master Chief.
It was too late.
Fine. No, it was too late. It was too late. But like by 6 months after it came out, it was fine.
Yeah, perfect.
That's unacceptable still.
Maybe just delay the game and fix it, and then release it, and people will be happy.
Yeah, but I think Aaron's onto something when he says people already have PS4s, so now when the new Xbox One comes out and somebody was maybe on the fence about getting an Xbox One to have both systems, this is like pushes them over the edge, and maybe that's the target market for the
I think that
Xbox
makes
One
sense.
X, yeah. But who knows?
Competition's good. I'm glad.
Yeah. They also at Gamescom talked to Polygon and said their general manager Shannon Loftus admitted that the company probably announced Crackdown too early, noting that the game features 3 different modes that are being developed by 3 different studios, and so delaying it to spring 2018 was something that, was something they did so the teams could get up the game's overall quality, but they probably should have not announced it when they did. I mean, this is kind of no shit kind of thing that we were talking about talking about last week, but the thing, like, I want to be clear is so there's a multiplayer mode, I guess, in Crackdown, a single player mode, and then there's another mode that's like team based, maybe, I'm not really sure, but like, so they have 3 different studios developing on the game. Like, I don't understand, like, that doesn't make
Too many cooks.
Yeah, too many cooks. Yeah,
It's gonna be a fucking mess.
Exactly.
Calling it.
And then the last piece of Xbox news from Gamescom is that they are publishing PUBG on the Xbox One, and they're still doing the whole, like, what the fuck does an exclusive mean kind of bullshit talk.
Yeah.
That's fucking, like, terrible. It's like, go fuck yourself. Not that, like, Sony does the exact same thing. They're like, well, it's a timed windowed exclusive at the time, but we exclusivize it right now. So, like, it's really fucking, like, that shit's all really dumb. But I think this is a big get for Xbox, and it depends on how long it's gonna be exclusive. Obviously, they usually, with these kind of deals, they write into it like, hey, you can't announce when this is coming on PS4 until like a week before, kind of situation. Or not, maybe not a week before, but you understand what I'm saying. And like, I'm sure that will happen, but it would be interesting because, like, we saw with Rise of the Tomb Raider, they had a whole year of exclusivity on Xbox One, but then with a game like Inside, it was literally out on PS4 like 2 weeks later. So like, it's
kind of begs the question too, if Microsoft is publishing the Xbox One version, will Sony do the same with the PS4 version, or will the port just be shitty and bad and like not as good as the?
Oh, that's true.
You know, the port's gonna be good if Microsoft's publishing it. Maybe it'll be the superior version on the consoles anyway.
Maybe. I would assume it'll probably be what you said. The first thing is they'll publish it on, because I'm pretty sure there's been indie games where it's like that. Like, I'm pretty sure Castle Crashers on PS4 is like published by PlayStation, and then on PS3, I'm sorry, and then on Xbox and Xbox 360, it's published by Microsoft.
Is that right?
So, like,
I was wondering if there had ever been a game like that.
Indie games have done that before, so.
Okay. Sweet. Good deal.
And then more stuff from other cons going on. QuakeCon apparently happened last week. Okay, is that game out? The fucking
what game?
Quake
Arena
Champions?
or whatever.
Isn't that what it's called?
Oh, Champions. I got it mixed up with Unreal Tournament.
Is that game
no,
out?
It's in beta.
I feel like that's one of those games that's like perpetually in beta.
I'm so like, are we not fatigued with those games?
Those games, like, how do you feel about that, David or Aaron? Do you ever play games when they're in beta, like, for a prolonged period of time?
I did with the
access,
first
maybe?
Destiny. I don't know about early access, but the first Destiny beta I played like a shitload of, probably pretty much nonstop until it was done. I had a blast with it. That's the only like thing I can think of. I played the PTR on WoW sometimes to like test out upcoming patches and stuff. But other than that, no, not really.
Yeah, I don't like this idea, because like, at least with Destiny, it's like we have the beta in July and we knew the game was coming out in September kind of situation. You know what I'm saying? And, but like with these games, it's just like there's a beta, we don't know, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not
That's
super into that.
exactly true with like early access games.
Yeah,
like, it's
same
early
thing.
access, but there's no release date. We'll just, at some point.
It's whenever we slap a patch 1.0 on it, it'll be done. But they announced at QuakeCon that they're gonna make the 2011 FPS Brink free to play, which
Yay!
is hilarious. Which, like, all right, so you can laugh at the fact no one's gonna play Brink. Who the fuck cares? But I think this is a really cool step in terms of like game preservation and stuff like that. Especially not only making it free to play, because obviously there was ways to buy it, like, so it's not the end of the world, but free to play in the sense that it's a competitive game. So like, this might get some people in the door to playing it, and like, in order to have like a game like preserved correctly, you want to have if it's a competitive game, you need to have a user base around it, and like this will hopefully like kind of draw people.
Create the
towards it.
one that never existed.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
yeah.
think so.
Also, Brink's not a good game. It's not like I'm saying like Brink is.
Didn't
like,
work
That game
for Evolve,
fell off the
it's not
face
gonna
of the
work for
fucking
this.
earth. I forgot it existed until I saw this.
Yeah, I just thought that was an interesting thing. Didn't it? Is Evolve free to play? Is it free to play on console
Yeah.
or is it just on
On
PC?
PC, not on
It's just
console.
on PC. Okay.
And it resurrected it for like a day, just like Brink is gonna be. The peak players for Brink when it went free is like 2,000. It's gonna drop. The fucking average playtime is 9 minutes.
I feel like it's a
For those
similar thing
people.
with what's the other game? Battleborn.
Yeah, that game's dead as fuck too. So you like 100 people playing it.
Yeah, it's just interesting.
There's
then-
too many of these fucking games. Like
Mhm.
Lawbreakers just came out. That game
Oh,
flopped.
there's like
That
wait,
game
there's
fucking
and then there's the
Quake is
then,
gonna flop.
What's the other one? Fortnite's one.
I don't know. Fortnite's not really comparable.
I mean, it's not like these are just for like Fortnite's free to play, right? Like
It's gonna be, I guess.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's free to play.
Isn't
then-
Agents of Mayhem kind of like that too? Just only like single player?
No, it's not free to
Agents
play.
of yeah, that's not free to play. I think that's.
Well, I meant like a similar type of game, like the.
That's more like Saints Row or Crackdown, but like
yeah, I think.
Okay, I wasn't really sure, to be honest with you, but
I'm talking
Well,
mostly about hero shooters and like.
But then also like
competitive.
and
I
then
was
there's
thinking
the
that's what
whole-
Agents of Mayhem was, but evidently I was
And then
incorrect.
there's the whole like the 4v1 kind of thing, like Friday the 13th and what's
Oh, remember that fad?
Dead by
Remember when
I
those
mean like
games were
Dead by
coming out?
Daylight's still real popular too, and Friday the 13th. Like both
I
of those
kind of
games
missed
are
that
like,
game, even though it was bad.
like you know what I'm saying? Like
There
there's,
hasn't
like-
been a good one.
And then there's like a billion fucking MOBAs like Heroes of the Storm.
Oh,
Dota.
just wait. We're gonna get the fucking
League.
land of the battle royales next year.
I don't
It's
even
gonna
know
be
what that means.
nothing but
Really?
those. Gear and fucking Teed.
Oh, land. Oh, okay. No. I thought that was a real game. I thought that was just a really
Land
generic.
of the Battle Royale.
Like
Battle
app-
royale. I mean,
app-
no
it
better.
sounds
than
like a mobile
fucking
game.
PlayerUnknown's
It's
Battle
that
Royale.
sounds like a mobile game where there's like a white guy yelling at you on the app like cover. You know. What I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
those
the
things.
icon.
Then the last story we have here is about Fee. It's an upcoming platformer from Swedish developer Zonk. Is it Zoink? Zonk?
Is it pronounced fee or fey?
It's Fee. I think it's Fee.
That's stupid.
I think it's pronounced Iron.
Iron.
Clever,
and
you got it.
it's-
It's a chemistry job.
It's coming out on Xbox One, PS4, PC, and the Nintendo Switch. It's also being published by EA. It's part of their like EA Originals thing where they're kind of doing smaller indie games like what was the other one? Yarn Boy. What the fuck was it called?
Unraveled.
Unraveled. Yeah.
Kirby's
that was-
Epic Yarn.
Yeah. No. Yeah. EA Kirby's Epic Yarn. Clash. He's making a guest appearance in Mass Effect Andromeda 2.
Yoshi's Woolly World.
I'm wondering where the Kirby arc is. Why was that on DLC in Mass Effect Andromeda?
Yeah, where's the Kirby DLC, dude?
But I think number one, I think it's a cool step for EA to be pushing on this thing, even though they are taking a while. It kind of reminds me of like a few years ago when Ubisoft did the Ubi Arts thing. But number one, the games aren't as good, and then number two, Ubisoft killed that. So like, I hope they don't kill this. Like that shit was so cool, and Ubisoft was like putting out Rayman and Valiant Hearts and
Yeah, remember? Why
Child
did
of
they
Light.
stop doing that?
It's just such a
Rayman?
bummer.
Those games are all good. They didn't
Yeah.
sell well though, did they?
Apparently, I think Rayman probably did because they brought that so far to like a bunch of different platforms.
The original didn't sell well at all.
The
The,
like Origins. or whatever.
Origins?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, they
Legends.
keep
probably did.
Shit.
Oh,
well.
That's just I don't have information on that. I'm just like it's been on everything, so like it's on Switch now and stuff like that. But they're bringing this to
Yay.
Switch. We talked about EA last week bringing games to Switch. I don't know if this is like a step forward because this is just a smaller title. But like
If I were EA though, I would be hesitant too. After the Wii U being so bad and the Switch like never being in stock, like most stores I've heard are getting 4 Switches when they restock
Jeez.
the Switch, and so like no shit they're selling out. So if your user base is limited by parts or by Nintendo just being assholes, there's no point to port your games onto the Switch because it's not gonna install base isn't gonna be big enough to like warrant it. So I don't blame them for being hesitant about bringing stuff to the Switch.
That is very, very true. But yeah. Alright, whatever. I was trying. I'm bad. I was reading what Aaron wrote in the doc. The next segment of that's the end of the news. News is over, David. But the news of the week is that we got a chicken dinner last night. God, I was so happy.
I woke
was
up this morning
so
like,
happy. I've
Feeling
literally
refreshed.
every time I tweeted about it, every time
Peace.
somebody likes my tweet, I go and click my tweet and then look at the picture of it.
Oh my god.
That's how excited I am.
I'm so fucking pissed I couldn't get a screenshot on my computer.
Yeah, I
took a
didn't even
screenshot
I didn't
and I
even
went to
try to.
Paint and I pasted it, but it was the fucking menu, and I was like, God damn it, it didn't like work
Yeah,
or
but
something.
then you like took
Um,
a Snapchat and then you didn't save the picture
I know, I'm
from your
stupid.
Snapchat.
No, I'm so
You
sorry.
didn't put it on your story, and you didn't.
I didn't
just
think I
save
needed
the
to. I thought I
picture
had it
with
on
your
my
phone.
paint, but I didn't.
Aaron's
Big
cat
bummer.
makes an appearance. That's the second cat in the show.
say hi, Pete.
Sila's over by the window. He can't.
He can't see. Oh my god. Did you guys? All right, this is very unrelated to games. You said you can't see him, and then I made a joke. It's like he can't see, but then also there's a rapper named Joey Badass who apparently looked at the eclipse too long and had to cancel a bunch of show dates.
Oh,
Are you
It's the
serious?
funniest thing in the fucking world.
God
What
damn.
a
It is
badass.
the funniest shit in the fucking world. Yeah.
That's
It-
awesome.
And like he never said he like stared at the eclipse and that's why he canceled show dates. It was like before the eclipse he tweeted out a bunch of stuff. It was like, yo, I don't know why we gotta wear these glasses now, man. Our
Oh,
ancestors
no.
never wore glasses or anything like that. They were fine. And then it was like later that night he's like, due to unforeseen events, I'm gonna have to cancel a few tour dates.
Oh my god.
Oh my
It's like really
God.
funny. And then he
That's
tweeted out later a
okay.
picture of him wearing like new protective glasses that he has to wear.
Oh,
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Okay.
But that brings us into what are we playing? We're going to be talking about all the games we've been playing for the week. David, if you want to start, I know you've been hacking and slashing your way through some stuff.
Yeah, that's right. I've been playing the Devil May Cry reboot by Ninja Theory. DMC Devil May Cry. I thought it would suck. I thought people hated it a lot more than they actually do. I went and looked at a bunch of like reviews and user reviews. People seem to like it, so I was like, yeah, I'll check it out. It's fun. The combat's really deep, actually. I can't compare it to the original games because I didn't play them. But
I loved what I played of it.
yeah, it was like, you constantly are getting new
What
weapons. and new
percentage of
abilities.
trophies do you have on it, David? Does my percentage beat you?
No, I think I have like 30.
TJ, I looked. You have like 3% or something like
Bullshit,
that.
dude. I have like
It's
10%.
super low.
I
No,
have
like
like
I looked the
10%.
other day.
I'm
It's
looking
really,
at it
really
right
low.
I'm looking at it right now. My trophies
Um,
haven't updated for a while.
The story is actually pretty good. I mean, it's fine. I'm surprised they didn't continue with it. I thought it sold better than it did. But
Wasn't the DLC pretty good too? Like it. I
yeah,
thought the.
Virgil's Downfall. I heard it's
Yeah.
good. It's on
Yeah.
there. I have the like definitive edition or whatever, and it,
Do you have a physical copy of that, or did you?
It's digital. I let you borrow it.
Fuck.
Yeah, I buy everything digital now because it's convenient.
I have 10% of the base game trophies.
No, you don't.
I'm looking at it right now.
I swear I looked the other day and it was like
and
nothing.
you defeated 5 bosses on my account.
I did not.
There
Are you
aren't
kidding
even
me?
5 bosses in the fucking game.
At least that's what it looks like. It's okay. Never mind. I guess
No.
not.
I
Yeah.
swear you only had like literally like 4 or 5 trophies
It's
total.
8% of the whole game, and with all the things, and then 10% of just the base game. You got a triple S style rank during combat. You slayed.
I did do that.
You played it enough to slay 100 demons.
That's like not a lot in a Devil May Cry game. Like
Nah.
that's like the first
You
hour.
got- or no, you got the first 5 fucking abilities in the game.
You get those really fast.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
It
I'm
kind
just-
of is overwhelming how much shit they put in the beginning of the game. I was surprised. They just keep throwing things at you. But yeah, I'd recommend it to action game fans. It's like my favorite genre of game, so I was like, I should give this a try, and I liked it a lot. And then I went back to playing Bloodborne because I can't stop.
Isn't there like a skin too? So like I know a lot of people's biggest complaint was the new Dante looks really weird.
Yeah, you can make him look like the one from 3 and 4,
Yeah.
which I didn't do for my first playthrough because I wanted to be canon.
Immersion.
Yeah, I think his design is fine, and I think his character is actually good. I think I had a bad impression of it from people just spamming.
It's because it was
the
like a
same
meme when that game came
yeah,
out.
and being like "fuck you," but I don't know. He's got like emotions. I don't know how it compares to like his
He's got
character.
emotions.
Yeah, I mean beyond just being mad at everybody.
So he's not
it's
Kratos?
fine. No, he's not that fleshed out, but he's not Kratos either. So yeah, it's a good game.
Calliope.
I'm almost done with it.
Cheyenne, what have you been playing?
Pretty much the same stuff. But I'm really excited because today Uncharted Lost Legacy is coming in the mail. And I've been very, very excited to play that. I honestly haven't even played an Uncharted game. I've seen them, but I've never played one myself. I'm just like mostly excited because it has not just one, but 2 female protagonists, and they're both women of color. So I'm just like,
I'm interested to
Alright.
see your opinion of the game with that being your first Uncharted title. I wonder
I am too.
how you're gonna react compared to
we'll
us.
see.
I'm not gonna
I'll
talk about it this
try to
week, but
find
I'm like in the 4th chapter or something like that.
CJ, your Cheyenne's tweets are actually what turned my Cheyenne onto the game.
Are
Made her
they?
want to
That's
get it.
true. Well, no,
Yeah.
it was a Snapchat. actually.
Lewis and Clark
Okay.
Adventures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
You guys should do a let's play of what's it
That'd
called
be
together?
Yeah,
Uncharted.
there's not too.
I think
There is a multiplayer mode in it. There is like a horde.
Yeah,
mode,
it's like
too.
all of the multiplayer stuff.
Yeah, it's like the whole multiplayer
Please get
suite
her
of
in on
the PS4.
We played that for like a day.
It was fun.
I thought it
like,
was fun.
Yeah, it was. It was not. That was something. It was like that was like. You know how like every game used to ship with the multiplayer mode?
Mm-hmm.
That's what these games are, but like, it was fun. It was like I did my
like-
thing with it.
Kind of tried. It takes
And
a lot to get squad to play a multiplayer game now.
Yeah.
It has to be like the
Also,
perfect
the best,
storm.
like the other thing is the Last of Us multiplayer mode is so fucking good.
Yeah,
It's
I had the
so-
most fun with that I think out of any game.
That shit is
multiplayer,
so
besides
good.
Overwatch.
I'm excited about Last of Us 2 because I want to see what Joel and Ellie are up to, man. I want to see.
You know what
are
Last
the
of Us
quick-
multiplayer is kind of like? It's kind of like PUBG, but a lot
It
smaller.
really is like PUBG. It's so fucking good. Also, have you been seeing the custom games on PUBG that they introduced where you can have like 50 on 50 and shit like that?
Yeah, I'm so
Yeah.
excited for this
Fucking
to
awesome.
become mainstream and yeah.
I'm very
get
excited.
support.
About this. Aaron, what have you been
Great.
playing?
Still Persona, almost done with it. I fucking hope. Like I love the game, but I really want to be done with it.
Yeah, it's too
Like
long.
it's too fucking long. Like way longer than it needs to be. It's been great, but like it's to the point now where I'm like I'm kind of having trouble getting through it just because I'm so ready to be done with it.
Mm-hmm.
But the so far everything that's happened has been cool. Like every time there's like a twist or whatever, it's still exciting. It's not that I'm like falling out of it, that I don't like it. It's just literally that it's so fucking long. I just want to be done.
Yeah.
But I'm really looking forward to playing Hellblade. That's definitely next, and then from there, I'm not really sure. I might try to finish some other things that I haven't finished yet, but I really want to play Persona 4.
But Mario Rabbids comes out next week.
Probably not gonna play that. I mean, it looks good. It's
Ugh.
not for me.
What about Absolver comes out next week?
Maybe not 100% sure. I remember what that is. To be honest with you.
What
it's
about
the-
what about Love Is Rage 2 came out yesterday, the Lil Uzi Vert album. Have you been listening to that at all?
I have not. I'll
No.
give it a listen though.
Yeah, check that out, man. But I have been playing Hellblade. I actually reviewed it on We Got This Covered.
I want to play that so fucking bad.
I don't know. But it's really cool. It's a perfect game. It's a perfect game coming off Persona because it's like a tight like 7 hours. Like,
Yeah,
it's-
yeah, yeah.
Like you were gonna and it's
And-
really like it's super atmospheric. It's super like it's like out like if you've been only playing
It's like-
Persona, it's like not cartoony at all, and like I think it's gonna make a good chain of pace for you.
Yeah, it's like right up my alley too. Like I love like beat 'em up action games. Like I love that like style of gameplay. Plus I really love narrative driven games. Like
Yeah.
anything with a deep story, it's my kind of game. I'm really excited to play it. The only thing that really fucking bums me out is, and I mean I'm not like, this doesn't discourage me from playing the game or anything, but like finding out that the fucking permadeath thing is a bluff
Mhm.
is super disappointing. Like
Yeah.
I feel like that should be like fucking spoiler cast behind closed doors kind of thing, because like
Yeah.
that literally changes the entire essence of the game. Like why? I feel like that's a pretty big thing to reveal to people. Which my bad if I just ruined that for anybody.
Well,
but
they didn't reveal it. Somebody tried to do it, and then they were like, "It doesn't."
Yeah, it's like the internet, and they kind of just figured it
well,
out.
I know, but I feel like especially on like podcasts and stuff, which I kind of just fucked that up as I'm talking about it. So
Well, I
I'm a
mean,
hypocrite.
It's
but-
they deserve to know. Like the developer literally lied about it. It's not your job to protect people from knowing the truth.
Well,
I
no,
think-
I'm just saying that like even if it is a bluff, which is honestly I'm fine with. It sucks that I know that going in, because like that the experience as a whole would have been totally different if the entire time I was like fucking nervous that my save was going to be deleted. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It would have made combat that much more
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
intense.
Yeah, there
Easy
is.
fix,
So
don't lie
I'll
about
give the
it.
context, I guess, for if you don't know what we're talking about right now. In Hellblade, there's a thing where the main character Senua gets she gets like an infection. It's called rot on your arm, and basically the more
Very
you
creative.
die, it creeps up your arm, and the game tells you if it gets all the way to your brain, you're gonna die like for good. And the game like implies that it will delete your save. It doesn't outright say that. It's like your journey will come to an end if it gets to your, and like as you're playing, yeah, it does slowly go up. But the caveat I will give is I don't think the combat's hard or anything like that. It is very repetitive, and there are like it's not a AAA game, so like there was one area where I died 3 times where it was like the game like kind of fucked up, like where I should not have died, and like I did.
That would be.
And I
oh,
would have
that'd
been,
be
if I
shit.
didn't know that at the time, I would have been freaking the fuck out, kind of situation. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
And I do think it is a cool thing, and also like I'm sure if this was a real thing, you could like save scum and like put your save in the cloud and bring it back and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
like it is a really like the game is really cool. It is one I don't know if you play games with headphones, but like
This one I will for
you
sure.
need
Yeah.
to play it with headphones. Like I'm not gonna say why, I guess, but like
I kind of already know some of that
you
too.
Need,
like
you need to play it with headphones. Like it's important. Like it's such a good example of a game using a creative mechanic that also is heavily story driven too. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very very cool. Why are you
Yeah, I'm
guys
excited.
clicking on this fucking line? It's like freaking me the fuck out. Like you're. Oh, he's writing penis. Okay, cool. That makes sense.
That's a funny joke.
Oh my god.
All right, we're gonna skip.
Too long.
Aaron wrote. He said, "I was trying to play Hellblade, but still on Persona because it's too long." And then David wrote, or I was about to say Cheyenne. David wrote after Persona. He said, "Because my penis is too long." He's a real
Funny
character
joke.
over here.
We got jokes.
We're gonna skip Kurt recommends an unpopular opinion this week, and I'm just gonna break down. This is gonna be a controversial one. Did you have an unpopular opinion?
No, I had a recommendation though.
Oh, you had a recommendation? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, all right. You're gonna no. Cheyenne is gonna recommend a game. My bad. I totally forgot.
Then we can get to the controversy.
We're gonna skip the only good segment we have. Fuck you, everybody.
All right, go ahead, Cheyenne.
Okay. So a game that is actually fairly recent and that I really love is Stardew Valley. So it's an indie farming game, which may not sound very interesting to some people, but
How
it's
does
really
it compare to
reminiscent.
Farming Simulator 2017?
To be honest, I've never played that, but I think it's very different.
Oh, okay. I just want to clarify.
It's really reminiscent of the Harvest Moon games. I played Harvest Moon 64 like religiously when I was younger. So this is definitely something that I am interested in. It's very like chill, so like if you don't want to play anything super like action based or like it just kind of, you know, want to hang out and play a game, this is a really good one. And they're still working on things for it. What I'm really excited about is the introduction of multiplayer, which is supposed to be coming to PC early 2018, hopefully. So you kind of start out on a farm and you're able to have another person come to your farm, and they kind of have their own little house and live together, and you can each marry some of the NPCs, and you might be able to marry other players, so that'll be fun. Yeah, it's like a Harvest Moon kind of like animal game where you just kind of like you chill out and you have fun. I'm in love with it. I get the urge to play it all the time. I've spent too many hours just farming and mining, and it's kind of silly, but like it's really relaxing and super cute, and one of my favorite games that I've ever played. So definitely something I would recommend for people looking for something a little more low key or something they can put a lot of time into.
Aaron, how do you feel about that?
It sounds good. I mean, I'll have to check it out for sure.
the words of a man who wasn't listening.
I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ.
You guys couldn't see him at all. He was fucking dying. Like you guys couldn't
Oh
hear
my
him.
god, you guys
just,
are
like,
fucking assholes.
He laughed for a little bit, and then it was like to you guys it would stop. But like I just watched him break down.
It's
I
because
hate
like
you.
I was laughing, but I was done, and then he typed in "Hobbit," and I fucking died.
The shared Google Doc is ruining the show.
Yeah, you guys
God.
should stop.
Oh god. All right, Cheyenne, they did it to me too during Hellblade. So
I
don't feel
know.
too bad. All right,
Just play
Um,
Stardew Valley.
which is better this week? I got a good one for you. All right, you guys ready?
Better be.
Which is the better gamer fuel, Doritos or Mountain Dew?
Dude, you can't. Those go hand in hand. You
Oh,
can't
You
have
gotta
a
pick
Dorito.
one. You have to pick one.
Mountain Dew.
Doritos.
Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew.
Doritos.
You don't get Doritos all over your hands. It's gross.
Yeah, but
Give me
like
Mountain Dew.
I don't have to piss lightning if I drink fucking.
Mountain Dew is like really gross.
It doesn't make you have to pee. It dehydrates. It dehydrates.
Yeah, I know my kidneys. I don't have to pass kidney
fucking
stones.
fucking like
gross.
sodium draining.
To
I'll
piss
piss chips at
lightning.
any time, but like I'm not about to die with some like liquid radioactive.
What's the best brand of
shit.
Mountain Dew? What's the best flavor? High
Ooh.
voltage.
Voltage. The blue.
Baja Blast for sure.
Dude, that's bullshit.
Baja
Baja Blast is
Blast
bad on
doesn't
its
count.
own.
I don't feel like.
They've sold it
The
individually enough
spiked
times.
lemonade one's pretty good.
I've
Do
never
they
had
have
that.
Baja
an
Blast doesn't
alcoholic
taste
one
good.
Mountain Dew?
What?
An alcoholic one? No, it's just
Yeah.
called spiked because they're fucking edgy.
Yeah, it's spiked with prickly pear juice.
Like, I'm just saying in general, like, do they have one? I
Oh
mean,
shit, they have a watermelon like fucking what's their like morning the energy drink one called?
Oh,
They have a morning Mountain Dew.
Yeah, it's literally like an energy drink
It's
that's
like
like made with fucking like coconut water or
It's
something.
made
so
with
it's supposed to be,
actual
like-
dew from the grass. And the
Yeah.
That's
it's
what
made
makes
with-
it morning dew.
Yeah, it's
I
really
forget
good
what
though.
it's called.
Yeah,
I know
why
what
don't they
you're
call it morning
Yeah.
dew? What the fuck?
I don't know.
Morning dew.
Yeah, what the fuck? That would be a good name.
Because that sounds like a fucking like
What is the best
hipster
flavor?
vegan
What
drink.
is the best flavor of Dorito?
The
It
sweet chili
depends.
one, the chili purple bag,
That's a
whatever the
good
fuck.
one. Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know. I
You
think I
only
like the
have two
classic
options, and that's Cool
nacho
Ranch
cheese.
or nacho cheese.
Nacho cheese are, in my opinion, the lowest tier Doritos.
No,
Actually,
best-
the best one is 3D Doritos.
The
Those
best,
suck. I hate
The
those.
best-
Those are great.
I'll fight you.
the best one is nacho cheese Doritos dipped in salsa. And if you
That
ever
is
tried
good.
out,
Ew.
thank you.
No, the
No.
best thing to do is like do the fucking like Step Brothers like cheese plate thing with the chili Doritos. You put cheese on it and then microwave it, and then put like Frank's hot sauce on top of that.
Oh, that sounds
That
good.
sounds like a heart attack.
It is
on a
so
plate.
good.
That's great.
What if you had really spicy, like
You pour
fiery
some Mountain Dew
Doritos,
all over it. And you're
Then
good.
you pour some Mountain Dew on it.
and then you dip
Oh,
them
remember
in
when
ranch?
they like blended like nacho cheese Doritos?
They made a nacho cheese flavored Mountain Dew,
Yeah.
like a
That
legit.
sounds
they
fucking
They
foul.
have a
It
Mountain Dew
is.
flavored Dorito too. No
You're
one
Yeah,
does
pissing
that's
cheese
true.
and lightning.
You just consolidated it so much
Lightning
easier.
cheese.
Yeah. Well, it's hard being a gamer. Let us know your favorite gamer fuel in the comments below.
It's hard being a kid.
It's so hard to like drink voltage without wanting to like go into a WoW raid now. It's like my nostalgia drink. I'm
The
like,
new one, the fucking Dew SA is really good too. I like
it's
that one.
super, yeah, it's
They
super-
literally just like poured them in together.
Yeah, it's so
and they're
cheap
like,
to make. They just fucking mix it in a big vat and bottle it. And it looks like murky purple shit because it's literally 3 drinks in one.
Think about it.
It's good though.
That's one way to put it. That brings us to topic.
Does it bring us to anything?
Topic.
To topic
Does it really
of the week.
bring us?
Topic of the week coming from Quincy and Dorchester.
I'll
Um,
introduce this one because it was my idea.
Yeah.
Topic of the week this week. I was basically just browsing the internet the other day and I saw a video
How often
Chrono-
do you browse the internet, David?
every fucking second
Always.
Yeah.
that I'm awake.
He's browsing it right now.
Yeah, I honestly
Yeah.
might as well be.
Was that what you were
Um,
doing when we were laughing during?
Stop interrupting me. It was a video about the history of Nintendo, and it was from like whenever Super Mario Brothers 1 released, so like the 1980s. It was like a CBS special, and it was basically being like, "Oh, kids are playing this new toy, and it's super popular." And then towards the end of the video, they mentioned that it was really hard to find NES consoles and Super Mario Brothers, and they're like, is this because of the manufacturer not being able to make enough, or is Nintendo doing this on purpose to make it a hot item? And it's just the same fucking conversation that we're having like 30 years later of, is Nintendo creating false scarcity to ensure that they sell out their stock? So the topic that I wanted to present to you guys is, does Nintendo give a shit about you or the average consumer, or are they only interested in gains and making themselves... Because what my theory is that they have this really good system of encouraging this rhetoric that they're like the good guys. They're like the grandpa of gaming. Like they've been around the longest. They just want to bring fun to games. They're the good guys. But then I think behind the scenes they've got a lot of upper management that's like, we can only produce 250,000 SNES Classics because we have to sell them all and they'll get bought instantly. So do you guys think that dichotomy is real, or do you think that there's honestly just manufacturing issues that are leading to these shortages 30 years later after the NES?
I think with the Switch in particular, it is like a manufacturing thing. Like
You think so?
I feel like there is literally no reason for them not to have sold 10 million Switches by now. Like, because they could easily do it. Like, I feel like they were hesitant after the Wii U. Maybe they didn't want to like have them sitting on shelves too long and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think with the Switch in general, especially because like after you burn so many third parties with the Wii U, you want to have a high install base with your new console. So like them to not like, even though the Switch is still selling well, like it could sell more. Like right now, if there were 10 million Switches, they would sell 10 million Switches. I feel like.
Doesn't it share parts with like the iPhone or some shit like
Yeah,
that?
and-
Like,
It's
and
Apple.
Yep.
Yep.
Like
There
Android,
is a
and like they
hardware
use the
shortage.
same like screen or something like that. I'm not really
Yeah.
sure on the specifics, but like I feel like that is the reason with the Switch.
With the Switch, but with what about like
with the
SNES?
SNES Classic, with the Wii, with the NES Classic, and a bunch of other periphery stuff. Like I said, the GameCube adapter or whatever for the Wii U and shit like that. Nintendo fucks their fucking consumers.
Yeah.
Like they don't give a fuck with games all the time too. Like Fire Emblem, what was the last one? Conquest and Birthright or whatever. Shit like that. Pokemon games. I guess less so with Pokemon games because those sell like hotcakes. But like, they fucking don't care. Like it's fucking like what they did with the Wii U version of Zelda too was in very short supply and like very hard to get a hold of. I'm pretty sure.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
So why do you guys think that everyone is so quick to forgive Nintendo, whereas if a company like Sony or Microsoft did this, it would be the fucking revolt of the ages?
Because
Is it
I feel
because
like-
of the nostalgia?
I'm sorry. I'm taking this topic.
No, it's
But-
okay.
But the Nintendo, I feel like, has such a hardcore fan base that Sony and Microsoft don't have. Like
Yeah.
we saw, like the PS2 was great. Everybody loved Sony. The PS3 fucked up. Everybody went to Microsoft. Then the Xbox One fucked up. Everybody went to PS4. And through that whole time, Nintendo has a core fan base of 15 million people that are ride or die with Nintendo. Like they're not fucking doing anything.
Kind of goes back to what you said too. Like Nintendo, in a sense, is like the grandfather of games. Like they will always have that diehard fan base, just because, in some sense, like video games are what they are today because of Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
My theory is that it's because Nintendo is always doing something that other devs aren't. They're always bringing something to the table that you can't get anywhere else. Like the Switch being a handheld and a console in one. That's not something that you can get at Microsoft or Sony. So even the people that are like, I'm going to go from Sony to Microsoft and back, have to kind of tangentially stick with Nintendo to get these experiences that aren't being delivered anywhere else, even in their first parties. Like nobody's making a Mario equivalent. Nobody's making a game as good as like Mario Kart in the kart racing genre. Cheyenne, what do you think? You're not the biggest Nintendo fan in the world, but you have a 3DS and stuff. Like you enjoy their
I
first
like
party.
Nintendo. I definitely like a lot of games that like even people that aren't like super into gaming. Oh, hi Pete.
Was that Pete?
Buddy.
Oh.
Yeah.
But like, you know, things like Mario and Zelda, like everyone can get behind games. Like everyone knows Nintendo. Like it's definitely like I think with the Wii it was definitely like a thing where families would like be really interested in it because it was super family friendly and like they recognized all those things. Like with, you know, Sony and Microsoft, I don't think people recognize as many like, you know, titles like that.
Sony and Microsoft couldn't have a Smash
nostalgia in
Bros.
general.
Like
But-
They tried.
They
with
they
All-Stars.
tried, but like they can't have a Smash Bros. Like they don't
Yeah.
have that.
Well, the thing is that
Everybody plays Smash.
what Nintendo realized with the Wii was they essentially had everybody was blaming Nintendo for kind of switching away from their core fan base onto like the casual audience, the
Mhm.
moms and stuff that are buying these games. But what they realized quickly was when you have a Wii and you have a game like Wii Sports, and then you keep pumping out these shitty games like, you know, Link's crossbow training and shit, moms and stuff and, you know, family members that are older and they're not that invested in games are only going to buy one or two of these games, and they're just going to stick with those forever and break them out when they're having a house party or whatever. They're not going to go and buy the new, you know, Wii Party game because they've already got one, and that's to them that's good enough. So there's been another big switch of Nintendo back to its core fan base with the Switch, and I think a lot of people are really happy with that. I just want to see them reliably
Produce their fucking shit.
produce as many things as they know that people want. Because there's a huge population of people out there that want a SNES. I keep switching between SNES and SNES. They want a SNES Classic, but they can't get one. I don't know how it benefits Nintendo to feed scalpers and to feed this shitty economy that, like, nobody's ever going to boycott it. Like, you could just say, oh, well, just don't buy them, and then Nintendo learn a lesson. Like, that's not going to happen.
The way it benefits Nintendo, I think, is if there wasn't this shortage, there would be one story that's Nintendo SNES pre-orders are alive. But instead, there's 15 stories that are Nintendo SNES pre-orders are live at Walmart. Nintendo SNES players are out at Walmart. You can't get one. Now you can get one. And their name is constantly brought up, and it constantly creates that mindshare that Nintendo. Even if it's for bad things, like as everybody always says, like good.
Do you think
press
it's
or all
feeding
press.
into their economy on the Switch and just
Yes,
by them?
that's exactly what. Like if somebody says I can't get an SNES, well, I still kind of want to play Mario. Oh, there's a new Mario coming out this fall. Heck yeah, I'll play that. Why not? I want to play Zelda. Oh, there's a great Zelda that just came out that's getting awesome reviews. Yeah, why not try that?
One more theory. Do you think that Do you think that now, if they released a virtual console of SNES games, if people that couldn't get the SNES Classic, I fucking say it different every time. Do you think that they're more incentivized to buy virtual console games now because they have it in their mind that they wanted to play them because the SNES Classic?
Yeah,
Maybe it would feed the
Yeah,
virtual
definitely.
console. So there's tons of ways you can look at this. I'm sure they're thinking about all of them. I think people that assume Nintendo is naive or something are they're fooling themselves. This company is, we were talking about before the show, this company's been around since the 1800s. They know what they're doing. They know the economics of the thing. They want to sell out their entire stock, and they want it to be publicized as much as possible. And I think that that's just the bottom line. And I think it does show that they don't give a fuck if you want an SNES Classic, as long as they've sold all of them and they're getting buzz. And it's shitty because you've got people like Reggie Fils-Aimé coming on the TV and being like, games need to be fun and we're cool.
Coming
and,
on the TV on the newfangled TV.
Coming on the TV.
Coming on the TV.
I
Coming on,
remember-
news outlets on your fucking monitors because you're all
Yeah.
millennial fucks. You know what I'm talking about. And you're like, yeah, Nintendo's the good guys. And they just keep it up. They somehow they live this dichotomy of being super kind of corporate evil and also the fun, company that loves you and just wants
Reggie
you to have fun
Fils-Aimé
games.
giving you fireside chats on the TV.
Do you think it has anything to do with people that say SNES versus SNES?
It could. That is a possibility. They're trying to weed them out so they know.
You
they
just have to
can-
Google
they
SNES
can-
Classic. Those aren't sold out yet. People
They
are
can-
always looking up SNES Classic.
They can cancel those pre-orders of people that say SNES.
Yeah. If you say SNES, you're not getting one.
But then also like, and I think it goes further than just this production thing that we're talking about. Like Nintendo has a bunch of anti-consumer stuff where they,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
from the
Mhm.
Wii to the Wii U, all your digital games like don't carry over, even though
Yeah,
you
go
can
fuck
play it on
yourself.
both. And like, it's literally, it's not even like, oh, there's an upgraded version. It's literally the same game, just you have to buy it twice. And like on 3DS, you have to buy fucking Mario 3 twice. And their policy in regards to YouTube Let's Plays and stuff like that is completely fucked. Where like they'll content ID all kinds of videos that like they have like no hand in making. They just made the game, but it's not your shit. It's like, go fuck yourself, Nintendo.
I just can't believe that someone with such a good grasp on modern game design and what gamers really want out of games doesn't understand the market.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
it's-
very backwards. In terms
It's
of that.
very
There's a lot of
weird.
problems.
They very much are in a bubble on the economic side of things, but it seems like in game development they've got an amazing team. They've got
They're in a-
amazing people
They're
working
in a
there.
bubble bobble in terms of
That's right.
what.
I just thought that was interesting. I think it's a really weird. They're definitely a multi-sided beast, and there's no one way of looking at it. They'll continue to sell everything they make because they make, at the bottom, at the end of the day, it's quality products. They're great products and they're great games. It's just so unfortunate that we can't have a company that does both, that makes insanely consistent and good first-party games and hardware, and also isn't just trying to nickel and dime everybody and feed a scalper market where one doesn't need to exist.
Get you a
So.
video game publisher that can do both. You know.
That's right. Cool.
But yeah, that has been the Current Gaming Podcast for this week. My name is Charles Blades. You can find me on Twitter at Charles Suda. I wrote a review for Hellblade that you can see on there. That's cool. Cheyenne, where can everybody find you?
I am on Twitter at Poopflower.
Is it Poop Flower or Poop Flowers?
Poopflowers.
One-
Multiple
Is it singular Poop
Poopflowers.
Flower?
Oh, multiple.
You have a good
I've got a whole garden
of
of poop flowers.
poop flowers in Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
Aaron, where can everybody find Pete?
At Aaron M. Weeks on Twitter.
You didn't make
It's
your
funny
cat a
because he
Twitter?
uses my name on Twitter.
Oh wow, that's
Mm.
great.
Pete is actually the one who drafts all of my tweets.
Oh wow.
Aw, Pete.
You write them down on a ledger for him, and he makes what he does with them.
Sure does. He's currently destroying my thumb with his teeth.
God damn, dude, that shit. Look, this is like
Cats
a
are
fucking Natural Geographic
Milo
fucking
didn't
thing
come
right
to
here.
visit
Holy
today,
shit.
sadly.
David,
Well-
where can we all find you?
I am my guy Dave on Twitter, and I am right there on Instagram.
D_Morgan.
That's right. So
And you
check
can
out my
also
art.
find him at the Malta Power Plant later when we're getting chicken dinner number 2. Pow, pow,
Dude,
pow,
you just wanted one, and now I knew it was never gonna.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
I just want to play Rocket League.
We were playing earlier. We were doing some stuff.
Yeah.
sometimes.
It's fun.
You can find Pete at my guy Pete. Or,
My
Jesus
guy
Christ, he's
My
like
guy
going,
Pete. Off my
he's
fucking
going to
hand.
town on Aaron's hand. You guys can't see it, but damn.
Milo.
Right.
Leave him
But this has
alone.
been the Current Gaming Podcast, episode number 17. This has been it. Peace.